Our skin is the part of us on show to the world. In all its rich variety, it can reveal our origins, our moods, our temperament, and our age. But just skin deep, there's an amazing underworld, an exquisitely intricate network of systems to keep us ticking. Through the microscope, we descend into a complex jungle of plumbing and electronics. In 1 square inch of your hand, you have 9 feet of blood vessels, 600 pain sensors, 30 hairs, 134 yards of nerves, 36 heat sensors, 75 pressure sensors, and 9,000 nerve endings. Every minute of the day, this equipment is working to protect us from damage, to control body temperature, to alert us to danger. We are all thin-skinned. The outermost layer of skin, the epidermis, is only half as thick as a sheet of paper. At its base, skin cells continually divide and grow. New cells push their way to the surface. Here we are on the inside, looking out. As new cells reach the surface, they harden and die. The skin we see and touch is actually dead. Every day we shed 10 billion dead skin cells. That's 50 pounds in a lifetime. As a result, the epidermis is constantly replaced. Every 6 weeks, we get a new outer coat. Surprisingly, we shed our skin more often than a snake. It's hard to imagine a layer of dead cells is the only barrier that protects us from the outside world. Without it, we could drown in the rain. These outer cells overlap like roof tiles to keep water and chemicals out and body moisture in. Lose that layer and you could die as vital body fluids leak out. Our outer coat has evolved to protect us from a hostile environment. Even on a perfect summer's day, our bodies are at risk. Sunscreen blocks the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. In harsh sunlight, sunscreen is essential to reinforce the skin's built-in protection. As Kadamba lies in the sun, special cells react to sunlight by producing a brown pigment known as melanin. With a carefully controlled exposure, melanin gives her a golden tan. These are the pigment cells, the dark patches in the bottom layer of the epidermis, packed with melanin. We all have the same number of these cells, but in dark-skinned people, they are more active. The more melanin produced, the better the protection. So fair skin is more vulnerable to sunburn and skin cancer. But we can't avoid the sun altogether. Skin cells also use the energy in sunlight to manufacture vitamin D, which helps build strong bones. Our journey now takes us down to the second layer of skin, the dermis. We are entering the machine room in the world of flesh. Our supple skin enables us to bend and stretch. It's built from layers of tough, flexible fibers, collagen and elastin. Soft and supple, these layers act as shock absorbers. Their elastic properties are amazing. Pinch your skin or stretch it, and it springs back. But our flesh does more than keep us mobile. Whatever the weather, even on the most sizzling of hot days, our skin controls our body temperature. Buried in our flesh is the plumbing which stops us from boiling. Sweat glands are part of the body's thermostat mechanism. They play one of the skin's most crucial roles. Oozing out through the fingertips is a salty fluid which evaporates to keep us cool. Our sweat glands can produce 2 gallons of it a day. The salty residue is what makes us feel gritty after exercise. Perched on a sweaty forehead is a salt crystal, magnified hundreds of times. Here's the amount of fluid you sweat off on a normal day without even noticing. Rising air currents also carry away heat from our bodies. We are all hot stuff. Active or still, through hot or cold weather, our bodies try to keep a constant temperature. A thermographic image shows where Patrick's skin is losing heat. The red areas are hot, blue and green cooler. His hands are still cool. Patrick's hard-working muscles are generating heat, which threatens to raise his body temperature. In his skin, blood vessels dilate, increasing the blood flow to the surface. The skin must now shed this excess heat. First to respond are his chest, shoulders, and head. The increased blood flow shows up as light patches where his skin temperature has risen highest. Even his hands are now hot. Sweat, air currents, and radiation all carry unwanted heat away from Patrick's skin. Patrick now bravely plunges into a wind tunnel where the temperature is below freezing. The heat loss mechanisms in his skin begin to shut down. The light patches marking his hot spots begin to disappear. Blood vessels in his skin contract, and sweat glands dry up. He loses heat quickest from his fingers. Heat sensors in the skin are the key to temperature control, switching the whole complex mechanism on and off like a thermostat. When these sensors feel cold, tiny muscles pull the hairs upright, trapping a warming layer of air next to the skin. Skin sensors detect light touches as well. When a fly lands on Kadamba's face, the sensors alert her brain. She blinks, the fastest reflex. Touch, pain, heat, all these sensors work together in forming the brain. Feel something, and a message goes to the brain in less than 1/100th of a second. The touch mechanism allows David to read through his fingers. Our touch sensors are closest together on the fingertips. They can distinguish stimuli only 1/10 of an inch apart. So David can feel the distinctive pattern of these raised dots, identifying each as a character in Braille. Braille is just one of the many ways we can use our sensitive skins to communicate with the surrounding world. A touch of the hand can speak volumes. The elastic skin of the face can convey many more messages. Dozens of muscles give this child's face its shape. They pull on her rubbery skin to contort her face into grins and grimaces. The language of faces is international. All these expressions rely on a special arrangement of muscle and skin. Compare a normal expression with a smile in a color contour picture. To smile, the blue shows the chin and lips have drawn back, while the cheeks have been moved forward. Our face and skin are not alone in making statements to the world. We also send signals with our hair. Hair is an outgrowth of skin, made from the same fibrous material as the dead outer layer of the epidermis. Hair grows out of tiny pits called follicles. The body has 5 million follicles, up to 150,000 on an average head. Viewed through a special lens, hairs form a dense forest with the occasional strand of gray and a hint of dandruff. Humans are hairy. Look close, and you'll find we have more hairs on our bodies than a gorilla. It's just shorter and finer. Only our palms and the soles of our feet are hairless. Each hair grows 1/100th of an inch per day. You have so many hairs on your head that each day you grow a staggering 40 yards of hair. That's the length of this rope. Hair is built to withstand punishment. The ends of these hairs are over 3 years old. They've survived thousands of combings and hundreds of blow-dryings. Magnify a hair thousands of times, and you see its suit of armor, an overlapping layer of tiles like the outer layers of skin. Our dead hair is our crowning glory. It makes statements about us and our personalities, and we put it through hell. A microscope reveals the damage to hair we've abused. Harsh treatment, since the hair on our heads protects our skulls from sunlight and cold. It can even help us attract a mate. The hair on our bodies, and especially our eyes, also acts as a security system. If a fly tries to crawl into the corner of your eye, it's confronted with a barricade of hairy lashes designed to keep out intruders. Our eyebrows are natural sweat bands, keeping sweat from our forehead from dripping into our eyes. And in the ear, hairs glisten with tiny drops of wax to filter out dust and bugs. Nails, like hair, are dead outgrowths of skin. They have no nerves, but they're embedded in sensitive skin to pick up the slightest impact. This is the magnified tip of a nail with a glistening grain of metal from a nail file. The complex world of skin and hair serves many purposes, but as we grow older, it shows signs of change. Male hormones control pigment and follicles. With age, these hormones cause some follicles to shrink, so they produce fine hair like a baby's. How much of your head is affected depends on your genes. Gray hair has simply lost its color. Production of pigment slows with age. Skin, too, shows the ravages of time. Skin around the eyes is a giveaway. Here's how it changes with time. At 2. At 6. At 20. At 30. At 40. At 50. At 60. The crags and crevices of advancing years. But why should skin look older? The outer layer is continually replaced, so even at 90, the surface skin is only 3 weeks old. What goes wrong? Kate is having her skin checked by a cosmetics expert. She's now in her mid-40s. An impression is taken of her skin. Under the microscope, this is what young skin looks like. The typical quilted pattern of youth, dewy and puffy, lubricated by oil from the pores. And this is what the years have done to Kate. Her skin looks dry and stretched. As we get older, our skin gets thinner. But are all the symptoms due to age? Look closer. You see brown marks, blemishes, yellowing. The skin becomes wrinkled. It loses elasticity. We assume it's due to age. But the real culprit is the sun. This sunbather is risking not just burns, but photoaging from ultraviolet radiation. Her burns will heal, but deep inside the skin, there's more lasting damage. This is brown pigment from a UV overdose. Triggered into frenzied activity, a cell which makes the pigment has been shot into overdrive. And the feathery black structures of elastin, which make skin supple, are destroyed by UV. elastin hardens into solid lumps. Most elasticity has been lost in the skin of this young sun worshipper. Feeling sun on our skin gives us a sense of well-being. Yet against UV radiation, our remarkable suit of armor lets us down. We have no sensors to detect it. We don't even know it's doing us harm until after the damage is done. Skin is our first line of defense and our personal thermostat. It keeps us in touch with our world and each other. It enables us to smile. It takes the strain of every motion. In pursuit of the body beautiful, we put one of our most precious and marvelous possessions at risk. It's the most exquisitely engineered protective coat ever devised, and one that deserves protection.